Hello, Real Vision people. This is Sebastian Moonjava with for Real Vision, and today we have a very special guest, Makoto Takemiya, and he is the group CEO of Soramitsu. Makoto, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm super excited to hear a bit about your project, but before we get into that, let's start with a little bit about your background, how you got into cryptocurrency, blockchain stuff, and let's hear a little bit about what you were doing before you got into this space.
Okay, well, let's start with my name. So, as you might have noticed, I have a Japanese name, but I don't really look Japanese. That's because I grew up in California, but then I moved to Japan, like 13 years ago, and then I became a citizen and changed my name. So that was part of a long journey, and during that journey, I got interested into cryptocurrencies. I was living in Japan at the time that Mt. Gox was at the peak, the crypto exchange, and it was very easy to buy Bitcoin, and I just became interested in it back in 2013. And as part of that journey, it really got me to question things about macroeconomics, like what is money, like what exactly is the utility, and how do you have productive economic growth. And that led me to some really interesting work. For example, the ideas of Dr. Richard Werner, who was also on Real Vision last year, I guess. And it's still a journey, and macroeconomics is very complex. I run a software company. I'm a computer scientist by training, but to me, any kind of complex system really can be studied in an analytical way, and I really enjoy thinking about the world in that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. So can you maybe explain a little bit about, I introduced you as the group CEO of Soramitsu. Can you explain a little bit about what a group CEO is, what that means, and then also maybe explain a little bit about the differences between Soramitsu, your company, and Sora, the protocol that we're going to be talking about?
Sure. So Soramitsu is the name of my company that I was co-founder of. And I started the company in 2016. And we were just a very small startup in Japan at the time. And now we're a group of companies, and I'm the CEO of kind of managing the group. And so that's what the group CEO means. So I actually started this company to focus on building blockchain technology solutions to help solve different inefficiencies in society. So, for example, payments is a big space that has lots of inefficiencies, and I think we've done a lot in that space. So we do quite a lot on the enterprise side. So we work with many institutions, even central banks. So we work with the Central Bank of Cambodia, for example. We built a very exciting CBDC project for them, or with them. And we're also working on different kind of open blockchain or crypto ecosystem projects. So Sora is one of them. So Soramitsu is the company, it's the group. We do lots of different development for many different people. Sora is a decentralized world economic system. So it's no one's project, it's the universe's project, I like to say. So everyone is able to contribute to it. It's an open source project that aims to rationalize the allocation of capital in the economy.
So this is that what you would say? Because my next question was going to be, what problem are you solving? So can you just say that again? What is the big problem that you're going after?
Yeah, the big problem really is that most crypto economic systems, so for example, Bitcoin, they don't have a rational way to allocate newly minted tokens. And if you study the work of economists, the way you allocate money in an economy is actually quite important. And so you can't ignore that. And in Sora, what we wanted to do is combine like the really exciting decentralized properties of Bitcoin with kind of like rational allocation of capital that you see in the traditional economy. So typically central banks, have economic units that sit down and work on different plans on how to, in some countries, allocate credit in the economy. And this creates the whole world that we have, and it drives productive economic growth. And to me, creating a decentralized way to manage this is important, because if systems are too centralized, you do have some moral hazard where people try to use it for their own gain or for some some kind of political game that they're trying to play.
And before we get too deep into the weeds about Sora and the tokenomics and what its goal is, can we talk a little bit about I guess, infrastructure. Like, how did you guys are a project that is hoping to build on top of both Kusama and Polkadot. Is that correct? And then, so can we talk about how you made the decision to be building using Substrate versus, and Substrate is the programming for, can you explain a little bit about how you made the decisions and stuff?
Yeah, sure. So, so Substrate, just to be clear, is a toolkit for building blockchains, and it's made by a company called Parity, who's one of the co-founders of Polkadot and the ecosystem. Dr. Gavin Wood is one of the co-founders. He was from Ethereum. I think he was also on Real Vision a few weeks ago. So
yeah.
Yeah. So Parity Substrate is a toolkit. You can use it to make your own blockchain. You can combine different pieces and you can build your own parts. And that's what we did with the Sora network. Was we actually just launched recently in April. And what we did was we took Parity Substrate and we added our own code, our palettes, and this created the ecosystem. And the reason we use Substrate is because it's kind of native for the Polkadot ecosystem. So what that means is Polkadot and Kusama want to have what are called parachains. And the goal really is to create many different networks that can each have their own systems of governance and their own ways to do, to do innovation and to move forward in a faster way without having just one blockchain. So what you have is many different blockchains in an ecosystem now. And I think this is important because blockchain maximalism, or being too focused on one specific technology or one specific protocol, actually does slow down innovation quite a lot. Because if you want to upgrade the protocol, you have to talk to all the miners and you have to get them on board, and it takes years to do this. And so Polkadot aims to make it more decentralized from a governance standpoint, where every different kind of grouping can have their own governance and they can have their own chain, and then they can all work together and communicate together through what's called a relay chain. And so you have all these different parachains that are connecting through a relay chain. This would be a Kusama relay chain or Polkadot relay chain. And to me, that's a really exciting ecosystem, and it's really quite logical. To me, it's the obvious future that you have to have. It's not. When I first started into blockchain, everyone was focusing on Bitcoin, and then a few years later came out Ethereum. But it's really not a winner takes all. You have to have many different groups that have their own needs and their own politics, but you have to provide a protocol for them to work together. And really, that's what the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems offer.
And so if I'm understanding correctly from what you just said, like, it sounds like the key points here are that you wanted to have flexibility to govern your own chain, right? Is that an appropriate statement? That sounded like a big reason why you guys decided to build using Substrate.
Yeah, exactly. So, for example, we care a lot about economics, and we kind of feel that we needed to have our own network because previous networks, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, kind of have a bad economic system from like an economic rationalization standpoint. So what we wanted to do is actually have our own governance, have everything in our own little, almost like a city-state type of thing. And so governance is really key. And that's one of the big driving factors in having our own protocol.
Hey, if you like this clip, be sure to like and subscribe for more crypto-related content. Also, be sure to check out the full interview and more only on realvision.com/crypto.